Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Shravani and I am a psychologist. I have done my master's in neuropsychology from National Forensic Sciences University, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. As many of you here are because of my Instagram page, and many of you might not be there on my Instagram page, but I welcome you all on my first video. So in this video, I'm going to answer the questions that were asked on my Instagram page by the fellow psychology students to me. I'll try to be very elaborate with the answers and try to provide as much information as I can on the questions in my diary so that I don't miss on any question of yours. But I would suggest the please do recheck on the information that I am providing you in this video. Make sure that you do your side of research as well, and don't completely rely on my information, as I might miss on few information in this video. Also, do provide me with the new information that you might gain through your research, so that I can add on that information as well to all the viewers. Without further ado, let's get into the questions. Before answering the questions, I would like you guys to know the basic qualification for becoming a clinical psychologist, and what is the difference between clinical psychologist and psychologist. First thing is that you can pursue your psychology degree at a master's level, even if you don't have a bachelor's in psychology. Although it is suggested you guys to have a bachelor's degree in psychology, as it is a foundation, and if you pursue your psychology during your bachelor's, if you have psychology in your bachelor's, it is the you can have a strong foundation. Also, it is not compulsory to have psychology. There are universities who usually have the eligibility criteria in your masters to get into your masters as BA or BSc degree in BA or BSc degree. That's it. You don't need to have a psychology subject during your bachelor's, but it is always suggested to have one during your bachelor's, as it is a foundation kind of course. So there are both BA and BSc degrees in psychology. Many universities do provide BSc in psychology as well, and in BA you might get a combination of BA psychology and BA applied psychology. It's up to you guys what you guys want to pursue, what you guys want to take in. There are other degrees as well in psychology, which I might not be aware during your bachelor's. But yeah, these are the basic degrees in bachelor's that you might get. That is BA psychology, BA applied psychology, and BSc psychology. After completing your graduation with or without psychology, even non-psychology bachelor's students can take into masters in psychology universities. Do too many universities, not all, but many universities do take in students who don't have bachelor's in psychology. Also, there are different types of different subfields masters. There is masters in industrial psychology, masters in neuropsychology, masters in clinical psychology, and masters in counseling psychology, and many more. So it's up to you guys and your interest which you want to take. but it doesn't affect if you want to become a clinical psychologist, you need to take MSc or MA clinical psychology. It is up to you guys to whether you have to pursue MA in clinical psychology, or MA MSc clinical psychology, or MA MSc counseling psychology. It won't affect. You can still go ahead and pursue your clinical psychology degree. So after completing your masters, but it is suggested to take in MSc or MA clinical psychology if you are sure that you have to become a clinical psychologist. Although after completing your masters, you cannot become a clinical psychologist, as master's degree just make you a psychologist, and that is the difference. You can according to your knowledge and experience that you might gain during your masters, call yourself a psychologist, not a clinical psychologist, but a psychologist. But that also depends on your education qualification and your experience in the field. If you have gained practical exposure during your masters in through internship program, research programs, then you can call yourself a psychologist, as it is very important to have practical knowledge and in the field of psychology before you call yourself a psychologist. So if you have to pursue your if you want to become a clinical licensed clinical psychologist in India, after pursuing your masters, you need to pursue your 2 years MPhil degree in clinical psychology. So without pursuing your MPhil, you cannot call yourself a clinical psychologist. After master's degree in psychology, you need to get your MPhil RCI license, which is provided by RCI licensed institutes only. You need to gain your MPhil degree from an RCI licensed institute only if you want to call yourself and practice as a clinical psychologist in India. So, from the education qualification, you might have understood that a psychologist just have a master's degree in psychology, and they might call themselves a psychologist. But it is also important that the person do have a practical exposure in their masters to call themselves a psychologist and to practice as a psychologist. Also, they cannot practice as a psychologist if they don't have a proper practical exposure and skills that needs to be a psychologist. On the other hand, a clinical psychologist during his or her master's degree, as well as during their MPhil degree, do get a lot of practical exposure, and they are trained, and their skills are developed during MPhil degree. And to become a clinical psychologist, they need to go through certain assessments during their MPhil degree, and so they are called clinical psychologist. So the first question was want to know all about clinical in DU, JMI, and reviews also. Delhi University is a great place to pursue your psychology degree. Also, there are other colleges under Delhi University which do provide amazing psychology degree. They do have do have great faculty and library, and do have great discussion during their classes. I have heard good reviews about the Delhi University and Delhi University colleges. So yeah, you can definitely go for them if you want. Uh, the second question was, when we did masters in clinical psychology, can we still become a neuropsychologist? Yes, you can. Briefly telling about it, to call yourself a clinical neuropsychologist, you need to get your MPhil degree in clinical psychology. Again, MPhil degree do have a MPhil degree in clinical psychology do have a specialization in that second or third year. I'm not sure about that, but they do have a specialization where you can choose your research topic as a neuropsychology topic related to neuropsychology during your MPhil clinical psychology degree. Then you can, after you're getting your MPhil degree, you can call yourself clinical neuropsychologist. But after pursuing your master's in clinical psychology, you cannot call yourself as a neuropsychologist. Certainly, I have done my master's in neuropsychology, and I can call myself as a neuropsychologist and not a clinical neuropsychologist. So there is a big difference because in calling yourself or naming yourself or saying that I am a clinical neuropsychologist and I am a neuropsychologist. If I have done my MPhil, if I had done my MPhil in clinical psychology with a neuropsychology specialization or a neuropsychology research paper, then I can call myself as a licensed clinical neuropsychologist. But since I have my master's in neuropsychology only, I can call myself a neuropsychologist. But after pursuing your master's in clinical psychology, you cannot call yourself or be a neuropsychologist. But after pursuing your master's in clinical psychology, you need to pursue your MPhil degree. So the next question was, what are the various career options for neuropsychology graduates? So if you have graduated from your master's in neuropsychology, you can work as an assistant or any other position in psychology department of the hospital settings, psychology or psychiatry department in the hospitals, or if there is any private clinic of a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist, if they have any opening for a master's neuropsychologist or a psychologist position, there you can work as a neuropsychologist. But to work as a clinical with a high paying job, to work as a clinical neuropsychologist, you need to have your MPhil degree. After you completing your MPhil degree, then you can pursue then you can work as a licensed clinical neuropsychologist in hospitals at a higher position, and you might get a good salary over there. But yeah, after graduating from your master's degree, you need to pursue your MPhil to have a high paying and good paying job. Also, it depends on the state and a city where you are situated. Depending on that, openings are there for the psychologist for the psychologist in hospitals and in other settings, for say a school psychologist. But to work as a neuropsychologist, you do need a MPhil degree, because there are no openings for a MSc or a master's degree graduate in neuropsychology per se. Also, they do have a research related work where you can assist a researcher if he or she is doing PhD in neuropsychology for or a neuroscience. They might need an assistant who do have a neuropsychology background or do have a knowledge of neuropsychology, theoretical knowledge, as well as a little a bit of practical knowledge. So if there are openings, there might be openings in the research assistant position for a neuropsychology master's graduate. Next question was, what field except counseling and academic or research role an individual with psychology degree can go for? So if you have a bachelor's degree in psychology, there might not be too many options, but if you have experience of working in some private or private clinic or say private hospital, you might get a job as an assistant or say basic work where you do administration of tests. But it also depends on the skill or experience you have. If you have done your master's degree in clinical psychology or any other psychology, during your master's it is very important to gain practical exposure during your master's degree itself. When you are pursuing your masters, it is very important to work or take internships as much as you can, where you can learn and apply the knowledge. learning basic tests and applying those tests and how to administer those tests is very important. How to establish a rapport with a client, or say with a patient. It is very important to learn all these skills during your masters. If you have gained all these skills during your masters and have worked with few clients or patients during your masters, then definitely you might get a job as a psychologist after completing your masters. Psychologist in school, psychologist in NGO or in hospitals or in private psychiatric clinics or psychologist clinics, you might get a job as a psychologist. But they also depend on the area which you live or where you are applying, whether it depends on the states that you live, and where you want to apply as a psychologist or where you want to work. So the next question was, can we do MPhil or PsyD postal studies while working? I would say no, because MPhil and PsyD, both the degrees are very practical oriented degrees, and it is a training degree where you get trained on becoming a clinical psychologist or a doctorate in a clinical psychologist. So both the degrees are very practical oriented, where there are no lectures as such, but you need to go to hospitals where you are posted in the hospital, and you need to work there for many hours, and it is needed to be done on a full time basis. MPhil degree is not being provided on a part time basis, so you cannot pursue MPhil degree while working. Neither you can pursue a psychology doctorate degree while working, because both these degrees are very practical training courses where you get trained and practical exposure is given to you guys during this degree. And also there are research work side by side which needs to be done while working. So it is very important, and the schedules during MPhil and psychology doctorate degree are very hectic, and you cannot do this or pursue these degrees while working. Also, the information that psychology doctorate degree is a 4-year degree program. It's a doctorate degree program where you have to work on research as well as you have to work in a clinical setting. An MPhil degree also have a research and clinical both work. An MPhil degree is of 2 years, and a psychology doctorate degree is of 4 years. If you have your MPhil degree, after pursuing your MPhil degree, if you are pursuing your psychology doctorate degree, then you directly get into the third year of psychology doctorate, and you have to just go through the 2 years of psychology doctorate if you have your MPhil degree. But if you don't have your MPhil degree and just after your masters you are pursuing your psychology doctorate, then the program or the psychology doctorate degree is of 4 years. Was, does a AIIMS have seats for clinical or neuropsychology? According to my knowledge, AIIMS don't provide any degree in clinical or neuropsychology, but I have read that they do have short-term courses on short-term courses or orienting training for neuropsychological evaluation and therapy of various patients attending them. So they do have short-term courses and orientation program sort of thing in their department, but they don't have full-time degree in neuropsychology or clinical psychology. Was MPhil best कहाँ से होगा? So, few of the top institutes that provide MPhil degree in clinical psychology, which is a good one in their university, is NIMHANS, which is in Bangalore, National Institute of and Neuroscience, Mental Health and Neuroscience, which is in Bangalore. The second one, I would say, is a CIP, Central Institute of Psychiatry, which is in Ranchi. The third and the other one is Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital, The others are IBHAS is also a good one, which is in Delhi, Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences. uh, IMHANS, which is in Kerala, Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, uh, is also a good one. Rinpas is also one of the top colleges, which is Ranchi Institute of Neuro Psychiatry and Allied Sciences. So all these few of these institutes are really known for the MPhil degree and practical exposure provided to the students during the MPhil degree. There are many other institutes which are licensed in providing MPhil degree, and they are very good in providing MPhil degree and exposure, and do have good faculties in their institute. So you can do search for those institutes as well. That's it from my side. I hope all your questions are answered in this video. If not, please feel free to DM me on my Instagram page, which is SiteGyan. Do follow me there. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Also comment your views about this video, what all feedbacks you would like to give. Suggestions are always welcome. I will try to implement them. Also, please feel free to give positive as well as negative feedbacks or changes that you want me to make in my further videos. Please feel free to comment on that as well in the comment section. Also, like this video and share it with your friends. And thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Take care.